Today's, uh, I guess, blog is what I call them. Just basically trying to get some of my young folk information who, I feel are lost. Run into, matter of fact, I got a couple young men at this time. The topic is peer pressure. Do you give in to it? And why? See, because when I ask these questions, if you looked at the other one about drinking and drugs, because it's something I never did. So I really don't understand it. Literally, physically. I really don't understand the giving in to the peer pressure. So that's why when I ask these questions, I am true to heart on why do you give in to something that you know is dumb, wrong, and stupid. 90% of the time I'm talking to my athletes. But this can apply to anybody. Peer pressure. Got a kid who has the ability and wants to go to college. But the circle and the crowd he hangs with, they stuck. Meaning they smoke, they drink, they party, they chase girls. Now this is, they not even out of high school yet. So that's already their lifestyle. So don't expect it to change much. But if I have a goal and a mindset that I want to go someplace that whole crew isn't going, you got to make that change, and they have to understand and respect it. Now, where I live, ain't no real gangs or nobody gonna beat you up if you don't, do certain things. They might talk bad about you. They might, try to do some things, but it ain't gonna be nothing major. Ain't nobody gonna get, lose their life over it. In some environments, yeah, it's that tough. If you don't do what a certain crowd is doing, if you don't, go by what the neighborhood code is, yeah, it could go for a rough life. So in that situation, I can understand why you got to do certain things in order to survive. If you have a higher goal, a higher mindset of going to college, getting yourself better, and getting out of your trap situation. Now, the young man is in a bad situation considering the environment he's in. But he has the environment and is in the environment to get better and to separate himself from the negative, the smoking, the drinking, of people who don't and not and won't go anywhere after high school. So that being said, like I said, what makes you give in to something that you know morally, physically, is not going to help or benefit you? My situation, I ran into several. I can tell you at the age of 12, if you watched any of my other videos, the boys and the crew and the neighborhood I was in, we was in the burbs. I'm a suburban kid. So it ain't no thug life or no hood life. I grew up in the burbs. It wasn't the top of the burbs, but we was in the suburbs. My boys started smoking and drinking at the age 12. But for whatever reason, I had in my mindset that this is not going to benefit me because I looked at my body. I looked at my ability. Everybody said I was a pretty good athlete. I knew I was better than most. But I figured I watched them dummies drink, fall, black out. And I'm like, dude, you look dumb. You look like an absolute fool. And that's the worst thing anybody can call you, is a fool. That was my perception of a lot of my people that I hung with. But like I said, it was my environment. That was the people who I felt comfortable with until we came into certain situations. We weren't no gang. We weren't tough. We were just average suburban kids trying to figure out life. But at the age of 12, I decided I'm going to college to play basketball. That was my mindset. And if I can't stand, walk, and talk and function properly, how the hell can I play basketball? I was barely surviving in school with being sober. So how, me being drunk or high, I'm going to be productive? It didn't make sense. It wasn't logical. So I let them do their thing, but they respected it. They put it on, oh, McCants, you this, McCants, you that. Yo, Denarin, you this, you that. Cool. Call me what you want, but you ain't going to call me locked up. Call me what you want, but you ain't going to call me stupid. You ain't going to call me no fool. You can call me what you want, but I'm going to take care of me. Unfortunately, out of that crew, several of them got locked up. Several of them got themselves in bad situations with alcohol and drug abuse. So understand the habits you're creating at an early age. Oh, it's fun, it's cool. Right. Now, what are the end results? I guess as a child, I seen the bigger picture at an early age. Not everybody sees it, but I really want to understand what makes you give into that peer pressure when you know it's wrong, when you know it's not going to benefit you or help you go in the direction that you want to go. The changing part, yeah, it's going to be hard because what I started doing, I think I became an introvert. If it wasn't with one of my homeboys, he was the only one I was hanging with. If it wasn't with him, I wasn't doing it because I never felt safe around the other guys. I never felt like if something really went down, they would have my back. If something really went down, Denarian was going to be by himself. So you know what? Guess what Denarian did? Stuck and stood by myself. Like I said, you can call me what you want, but you had to respect me. I wasn't no punk. I wasn't about to run from nobody. Unless you trying to jump me. Well, at that point in time, a couple people tried to get me. But God bless me with speed, so I had to get up out of there. But anyway, for the most part, if I said I wasn't smoking or drinking, what they gonna do? They can't force it. They can't put the alcohol down my throat. They can't put the weed in my mouth. They can't make me do anything I don't want to do. They had to respect it because I stood for something. They had to. Another situation, a little older. Most people don't know this. It's probably between me and God and the other lady that called me. I'm in a situation. Now, the dudes I was hanging with, athletes in a bad situation, took themselves to somebody else's neighborhood who they didn't like. For whatever reason, they start fighting. So now my phone ring. Hey, man, get yourself ready. Hey, dog, they just jumped so-and-so. We coming to get you. All right. Now, before they get to me, the young lady I had a crush on at the time, or I was so-called dating, I guess you could call that in high school, mother calls me and says, if I see you out here, I'm going to whoop your butt for being in this neighborhood, doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. Fighting for what reason? And now have you, at that time, 15, 16, no, I didn't ask why we was fighting. What we fighting for? They jumped on one of my mans. Hey, we gotta, retaliate. But when they came to the door, nobody cut or bruised. Nobody was hurting or limping. Nobody was in the hospital. But what sat in my head is that somebody's mother told me if I came out there, I was going to get whooped. Now, I was taught to respect adults. Now it's a catch-22. I'm in a catch-22 situation. Do I roll with my boys, the dudes I play ball with, or do I follow the directions of the young lady I'm infatuated with, mother? I chose to stand my ground. I said, you know what, dog? I'm like, what are we fighting for, man? I was like, you in their neighborhood, for what? They didn't come over here bothering us. Now, was that liked? Did everybody agree upon it? No. But they had to respect it because the reality of it was, what were they over there for? Why were they fighting? Because of what? Like I said, I wasn't no thug. What are we fighting for? You in their neighborhood. Why? We wasn't playing ball. But those that never put, they never put that together. So it was like I say, did I lose a couple friends? Maybe, possibly. The guys ain't talk to me no more. Okay. But I went on to college. I got my degree. Ain't nobody ever tried to jump on me. Because at the end of the day, like I said, who was really going to have my back? I never felt comfortable in believing that, okay, if I go fight with these dudes, I rolled by myself a lot. I just felt more comfortable by myself. If something went down, I knew I could get myself out of it. If something went down, I had other people around me, I wasn't sure about them. So I stood my ground. Hey, nah, I'm not going. Oh, what you mean? Nah, dog, it's like, you know what I mean? I don't even know them dudes. What are we fighting for? It was too many questions. It was just too many questions. And then, like I said, me rolling by myself, at any point in time, they could have jumped on me. And then if I'd have made that call, would they have come and helped me out? Or would it have been like, oh, dog, well, you know, my mother got this, my mother got that, I got to do this. Like I say, I just never, ever felt comfortable with certain situations. So just let me know, man. Let me know, why do you give in to that pressure that you know isn't productive? That pressure that you know isn't going to help you get to the next level. Physically, mentally, morally. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with it. Don't be the coulda, woulda, shoulda. I done seen too many that time. It's ironic that, you know, my pops, they, yeah, oh, hey, you know, your father should have went pro. Okay, what happened? A, B, and C happened. I heard that at an early age because of his lifestyle. So guess what? I chose not to live that lifestyle. And he told me every time I seen him, don't live this lifestyle. Don't be like me. You got to do better. And I listen. I got to do better. So if I would have followed that path of drinking and smoking, if I would have followed that path of fighting in the street, who knows if I would have ever made it as a pro? Better yet, who knows if I would have made it past 21? Because you know nowadays, they marking us off before 21. I just got an insurance claim from my grandmother who put down whatever amount of money at an early age when I was born to basically say, this is your burial certificate if your grandson doesn't make it past 21. That's how they live in the hood. That's when I was in Baltimore City. And I found out the insurance claim when I was watching the documentary on New Orleans. They go through the hood, put down this money. Your son's not going to live past 21, so put this money down so you can bury him. That's what they do with young black males. I never thought I was going to live past 18. When I made it past 21, it was the greatest day of my life. Now I'm 36. It's amazing to me that I'm still living. But this is the mindset. And I grew up in the burbs. I wasn't in no hood, no city. I started off in the city, but I was still a baby, 7 years old, and I got out of the city. So just action, man. Like I say, I know some situations, some environments, it's tough because the neighborhood is a gang. The neighborhood is set. If you don't live by these rules, yeah, they damage your family, they damage your house. So yeah, but how? How do you get past it? How do you get over it? When do you get over it? How do you make that adjustment? Because I can tell you one thing. If you go to the library, I guarantee you ain't none of them going to be there. Whew. All right, man, I got that off my chest, man. Hopefully some of y'all pay attention. Some of y'all wake up. Some of y'all listen. It ain't worth it. If you got a higher goal of being more than just a smoker, drinker, and partier your whole life, you got to find some kind of way to make a change. Stand for something or fall for anything is what they tell me.